So friends, today I kind of got up and decided to do some meal prepping. So what I started with is I took out this piece of ham that was in the freezer. Okay, let me back up a little bit. I think I need to do kind of a pantry clean out because we're overloaded with food and I don't even know what we have anymore. So I took out this ham. I think I'm going to try to make Instant Pot scallop potatoes and ham. I've never done that, but I need to use my Instant Pot more for summer. Then I took out this meal that I previously food prepped. It's cube steaks with gravy. So when that defrosts, I'll get working on that. And I did make 13 hard-boiled eggs so far. Then I looked in the fridge and I had these 2 bags of coleslaw. I made pulled pork and we didn't use as much of this as I planned. And I also had this onion. I grabbed out another onion because I thought I'd go ahead and make a kielbasa and cabbage, onion, something. So that's what I've gotten so far. Right here, I just started to make some rice, which I need to turn up because I want to make stuffed peppers tonight. That's just one of those family favorites, and if I went ahead and showed you the pantry, which I think I will in a minute while I'm cleaning, you'll see I'm overloaded and I need to cook through some of this stuff. So I have scalloped potatoes and ham. I have stuffed peppers going. I have this kielbasa, cabbage, something going. Don't know where that's going to go yet. Stuff to make cube steaks and gravy. That's as far as I've gotten, but let me show you a couple of these pantries and you'll see where I'm coming from when I say I want to start doing a clean out. So maybe this is kind of like a first day of a pantry challenge. All right, let me go over to the back pantry and I'll show you, like, it's getting a little crazy. Okay, so this is what I call the back pantry. And what the back pantry is the pantry that's in my laundry room that I keep unopened products in. Except for sometimes I have a giant thing of coffee, like right there, and I just store all the coffee back here. But for the most part, it's unopened containers, and it is not as tidy as it needs to be. So I have lots and lots of good stuff to work from. The toughest thing right now is that it is summertime, and the hubs doesn't like the oven on that much. So sometimes I go ahead and use the oven when he is out of the house. All right, let me show you the next pantry. So here's the kitchen pantry, and you hear sizzling behind us from the kielbasa. So I have all the wrap stuff up there and all that. Sauces, things that are currently open, like I said. That's how my kids treat the bottom of my pantry. So maybe this will help me clean it up. I have a bunch of cereal boxes open, so I think we're gonna end up getting some Rice Krispie squares out of that. We don't eat a tremendous amount of bread, so that's what we have right there. Granola bars, some fruit leather, coconut flakes, and other snacky things. So as you see, it's looking pretty full in here as well. And that's some baking supplies up there, and medicine stuff, and some vitamins. So that's that area. Let me show you the upstairs fridge. So in our upstairs fridge, we have mostly produce because we've started to do juicing and very, very, very large containers from Costco. So clearly I need to do some serious cleanup to even see what I have. So that's why we're gonna do a bit of a cleanup. We have a fridge drawer down here with frozen fruit, some frozen corn, frozen bananas. I need to use this rice today, I think, in my peppers. Let's go ahead and let that start defrosting. So that's what we have here, but I have a small refrigerator downstairs, and I also have a full-size freezer. This is gonna get bad, you'll see. Okay, so this is pretty much what we call the ice cream freezer, except for right here, I have a bunch of these Dole fruits and veggies that I got couponing that we're not using, so I need to get that used up and something. I have no idea what yet. And then this is a birthday cake and lots of very large containers with Costco veggies and stuff like that. It's where we keep our extra milk and creamers and all of that kind of stuff, and a little bit of beer and the world's best butter. All right, let's go to the big freezer. Okay guys, this is my very nicely sized large stand-up freezer. As you see, it is beyond packed. We have tons of good stuff to look at, to try, to clean out. And the way this all started that I wanted to do this is because I want to do another big freezer cooking session. And I wouldn't have space to put a single meal prep kind of freezer cooking thing. There's the last right down there of my freezer cooking stuff. So that's what got me motivated today. All right, let's see how we do. Okay, so I have my kielbasa is all nicely browned, and I went ahead and sliced up. I had like an onion and a third, like a nice medium sized onion and a third of an onion that was in the fridge. So that's going into brown to go with my kielbasa, and then I'll add a coleslaw mix after these get a little bit more brown, as well as some garlic, but you'll watch me do that. My rice, which I have not used basmati rice in the longest time, I just found half a bag in my cupboard. That cooks super quick. So that the heat's off of that, and it's just going to go ahead and, I guess, finish steaming up. You know what I should do? The frozen brown rice that I took out of the freezer, I think I'm going to put it in with that, because we're used to just eating brown rice, and yeah, the texture of white rice is really, it's not as chewy as what we're used to. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put this in with it. And this rice, I have no idea. I think I got it at Kroger on clearance as well. They have that little freezer clearance section, so that's where that's from. I just wanted to make enough rice that is going to be both for the stuffed peppers I'm going to do in a little bit, as well as a little tiny bit in the cabbage kielbasa mixture, just for some different texture. And I did just take out 3 pounds worth of this Kirkland brand, I think it's 90% ground beef from Costco. And this is the only kind that I like in the tube because somehow it's still fantastic. So that's what that is. That's busy defrosting. Cube steaks are still defrosting. Ham I can start chopping up as soon as I figure out how to make scalloped potatoes and ham in the Instant Pot. I have no idea what I'm doing there. Okay, I'll report back when I have some more progress. So where I am right now is my onions are nice and brown, and I went ahead and added about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, as well as a tablespoon of chili paste. Let me grab it so you know what I mean. This kind right here, you call it sambal. It's different brands, but it's really just ground fresh chili paste. It has garlic and chilies and some Asian seasonings and spices, and like I said, I was thinking about cleaning out the fridges, both fridges, freezers, all of that. So I want to start using what we have in here, and we'll see what we come up with. You never know till you try, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get those flavors marrying in there. And then I'm going to add in the cabbage, saute that up, and I'll show you the finished product. It's not long now. So I just went ahead also and added in a couple of squeezes of the minced ginger, you know, the kind you get in the produce aisle, because it's in my fridge. Actually, it's usually in my fridge. I love to use it in egg roll in a bowl, or in anything that I feel like is getting a tiny bit of an Asian kind of a flavor to it. If I can get some ginger in something, I am a happy girl. So I think what I'm going to do, let me check real quick, see if it's salty or not. Okay, so we have barely any salt. I'm going to give it just a few sprinkles of Bragg's liquid aminos. And I think at that point, I'm going to call it a day. Oh, it's got a nice tiny bit of spice from the sambal that I put in. Okay, that's all the rice I'm going to put in, and like I said, a little bit of liquid aminos, but that is pretty much how it's looking. We'll see what the hubs thinks. He's used to me just making concoctions when I want to clean out the fridge though. But you know what? If I have some cilantro, which I don't think I do, I'll chop it up on top, but that's it. Looks good. All right, let's see what we make next. Okay, friends, so I've changed direction a little bit with the potato in the Instant Pot. I don't want to use the Instant Pot because the the Instant Pot recipes for scalloped potatoes ended up having you put them in the oven afterwards. And I'm trying to limit my oven use as much as possible. So I just cubed up a bunch of these red skin potatoes, and they're in cold water to start while I was cutting them, and I'm going to pop them on the stove to boil and get them mostly soft, not all the way through. Then I'm going to just dice up one onion, one sweet bell pepper, and whatever ham I can get off of this. And I'm going to do all that while the potatoes are cooking off, so that everything's kind of moving along as quick as possible. But you know, I'm in no rush. I'm just kind of having fun cooking with you today. So I'm going to do that, and then if these are taking a while, if the potatoes are taking a while, I will go ahead and brown up the ham and then set it aside in a bowl to cool while I'm browning up all the other vegetables. So the intention for this now is I'm making home fries with ham and vegetables. That way, if the hubs or the kids, actually the hubs won't eat it. He doesn't eat much carbs, but the kids will go ahead and either eat it just like that or go ahead and make themselves some eggs with home fries, and it'll be a win. Lots of garlic will be involved too. Okay, here we go. Alrighty, so I have potatoes trying to come up to a boil over there. I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil in my pan, and I did end up dicing up the entire bell pepper. I have an orange bell pepper, and it's about a medium-sized onion. So I'm going to go ahead and start browning them so that that is ready for me to put back in this dish over here. And I'll start browning the ham, so everything's going to be ready when the potatoes are ready. All right, so the onions and peppers are looking fantastic. I did put a couple of teaspoons of the jarred mixed garlic minced garlic. I'm going to just go ahead and do a nice little shake of, can you see it? Italian seasoning really quick, just for an extra little layer of flavor. The potatoes are boiling away really nicely, and let me see if I can be a little steady so it does not hurt your poor eyes. I also diced up the frozen ham that I had in the fridge. So I can't remember what it's from. I bet it's from Easter. Yes, that's what it would be. So I have a nice pile of the ham diced up and cleaned up and ready to go. So all we have left to do is see if those potatoes can get done. I'll drain them and dry them pretty well, or let them dry a little bit. The steam will dry them out. I'm going to brown up this ham, set it aside, and then start browning the potatoes. So here we go. Ham is browning up really, really nicely. That's always fun when you find a block of ham hiding out in your freezer. So that's coming together really nicely. And I'm just about to drain the potatoes and let them sit for a minute for the steam to release so they can be nice and dry when I go ahead and brown them up in the pan. I'm going to go ahead and take the ham out so the potatoes can have lots of room to get kind of those nice little brown crispy edges on them. And then I'll add the ham as well as the onions and peppers all back together right before the end to give it a final coming together and a browning. All right, let's see how it looks. So what I'm doing here while my potatoes are browning is I have about a cup of frozen corn. I like the Costco yellow sweet corn. I have a full can of black beans, and I'm just going to make a cold salad with them. I have an English cucumber, 2 peppers, and I'll probably use up the rest of these angel sweet tomatoes. Then I'll put some kind of an Italian dressing and finish it off with the rest of the cilantro that I have on hand. So if I do anything different, I will let you know, but pretty much it's just chop and drop. And seriously, my kids prefer raw peppers to cooked peppers anytime, even though for dinner, or at least meal prep dinner, we're going to have stuffed peppers. My son will end up eating the stuffed pepper filling and not the stuffed peppers because he likes them raw so much. All right, so if anything changes, I will let you know, but I have to start chopping and dropping. Here we go. To my home fries, or at last time we were here together, I just added salt, pepper, and a little bit of garlic powder to the home fries, and we're getting a nice little brown on them. So I think that's going to be enough. I'm going to go ahead and add my ham and vegetables. Remember, I have the orange bell pepper as well as the onion. I'm going to go ahead and just mix that together, and my home fries will be done. I'll end up just pulling them off and putting them in a container in the fridge, and they'll be ready to go whenever somebody is looking for this to be their snack, or super easy to just fry up a couple eggs and throw it with it. Okay. Moving back over to let me try to go as level as I can, over to the veggie salad you saw. So I have my peppers. I'm starting to cut up my tomatoes. My cucumbers are all set. I have the corn and the black beans in the bottom. And I might make my own vinaigrette if I can. Oh, I do. I have a lemon downstairs. So I'm going to do that. And I also have just a little bit of cilantro left. So my vinaigrette will be pretty much half either lemon or lime juice, olive oil, a little Greek seasoning mix, salt and pepper. That's it. I'll pour it on top and let it sit for a couple minutes, and that's going to be good to go. So I think this came out pretty great. I ended up making a dressing with it out of olive oil, lime juice. I just used one lime, but it was super juicy. A teaspoon of Dijon mustard, salt and pepper, and that's it. And that's how I dressed it. Mixed it all up, and we are good to go. Now the only thing I may or may not add to it is I do have a bunch of chives growing on the side of my house. So if I get around to it, I'll add to it, but this is really nice and tart and flavorful, so probably won't need to. It looks pretty good. Okay, now we are on to doing the stuffed peppers. In this pan right here, I have one full browned onion that I diced up and browned off in just some regular old, well, Costco's olive oil. So I guess it's extra virgin olive oil. And I have half unfrozen. I'm browning 3 pounds of ground beef. And this is for the filling for the peppers. So once we get a little bit further with these guys defrosting, because they're half and half, I'll go ahead and put a couple tablespoons of minced garlic in there, and then I think I have a couple of jars of regular old Prego, cheapo, whatever sauce, and that's going to be the sauce that I use as well as the sauce that I put on top, but we're not there yet. Anyway, right now we have onions and ground beef cooking off to brown off. And in this pot right here, I've melted butter, and I'm going to be making some cereal marshmallow squares with that. So we're moving along. I'm almost done with my meal prep cooking for the day. My ground beef is nicely browned. I did add a couple tablespoons of minced garlic in. I haven't added any other seasonings. I'm going to go ahead and add, I have rice in the pot to the left of me here. So I'm going to go ahead and add about a 1-to-3 ratio, 1 of rice to 3 of beef. I like it way more beefy than full of rice. And get some sauce in here, and make sure that the mixture isn't like sloppy wet, but just coated, because I do end up putting a couple of spoons of sauce on the top of the peppers before I bake them off. My mixture is all set for my peppers. I did end up using about 2/3 of a jar of spaghetti sauce to the 3 pounds of ground beef, and I added in, I'd say 1.5 tablespoons of Italian seasoning and salt and pepper to taste. So that is waiting on me to get my peppers all prepped, which I have not done yet. And over here, I'm making cereal squares. I just have to finish mixing these up. I think I have Apple Jacks and Cocoa Chimps. That's my way of using up cereal that we have. And I do have a 9x13 pan that is already sprayed and waiting for
the treats.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and use my hand, which I sprayed with cooking spray, to smoosh the treats down into the 9x13. They're hot, but not like burning hot. And the reason why I spray my hand is because the treats don't stick to them. Otherwise, see how that did just right there, which means I missed a spot. But it's my best tool I have for smooshing down the cereal and not bringing it all back with me. So that is ready to cool. I don't know, brown, kind of tan and green. Looks like this would have worked for St. Patrick's Day. Oh well. All right, so those are done. Those are all set, and now I have to cut up my peppers. I went ahead and cleaned out the peppers, halved them, cleaned them out. Got a little olive oil rubbed in the cavities, salt and pepper, and threw them in the oven for about 10 minutes on 400. Now I'm going to go ahead and stuff them with the filling. I do use this muffin scoop here to get it in there, and I'll mound them up pretty good and top them with a little bit of jarred spaghetti sauce. The peppers are stuffed. I have a little sauce drizzled on the top. I'm going to go ahead and cover them in foil and put them in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes, and they will be all good to go. Peppers in the oven, they are under foil. They only have 13 more minutes. So in the meantime, I am making this freezer meal that I previously put up. It's cube steaks. I don't even know what's in it. I did it like 6 weeks ago. Cube steaks with gravy. I did like 60 meals in a day, threw them in the freezer downstairs, and they've been a godsend, but I'm getting a hankering to do it again. So we need to clear the space. So I will finish doing this. The peppers will come out. I will show you what these cube steaks look like when I'm done. So my cube steaks are sizzling away. This is the second round of them. It looks like I had 8 of them in this bag. And I never seem to cook for just the 5 of us. I always like to cook so that we have leftovers and all that kind of stuff too. If my kids work during the day and they like to bring, there's the first set, they like to bring homemade lunches with them because they're smart, because then they don't have to buy them for themselves. So that's about done. What you see in this bag here, there's some flour, onions, butter, beef broth, that kind of stuff. So that's going to make a gravy that I will serve with it, and that's going to be it today. So it's coming along really nicely. I will show you an end shot of the Salisbury steak with gravy, but that's it today, guys. The cube steaks with gravy. It smells absolutely fantastic. I'm so excited because I think I'm having that next. And then under the handy dandy foil are the peppers with the sauce on top. So we had the peppers today. We had the cube steaks. This was the kielbasa with cabbage, home fries with ham. That's extra rice I have. And this is the extra mixture I always make when I make the stuffed peppers, because my son doesn't want the pepper part, he just wants the stuffed part. Right here is cereal squares for dessert. And then right over here is the veggie salad I made. So that's it for today, folks. Hope you like it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask below, and like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff for the channel, because more content will be coming right back. All right, bye-bye.